So once again, between the question and answer video and the vision video, there were tons of different Easter eggs between both of those items. Still so much to sift through. I think there's still a lot there, a lot of chicken on the plate, as people like to say. But I think given that information, we've narrowed down 3 teams that are probably coming to Marvel Strike Force in 2026. I think we broke down 3 of the big time Easter eggs. Let's go ahead and tackle them in logical order from I'm the most sure to I'm the least sure. We recall that Ryan Jacobson and Pathfinder were talking about his shirt, right? The shirt that Pathfinder had. He said one of the individuals on there would play a prominent role. He said that she, a female, will be playing a prominent role. If we look back at the end then of Ryan Jacobson during the Vision video, was showing his office. We recognize there's a whole lot of stuff on that top row. A lot of us fixated on that, but there's a lot of things in that picture that changed. There's some weird thing in the upper right-hand corner. I have a question about that. There's also a second row of comics, and that second row of comics is what we're going to be focusing on today. In the middle there is one that's kind of blurry, and thanks to my homie, Sleepy Doo-Wop, bro, shouts out to you, big comic nerd, and he's the guy that'll take you out and do a squat challenge with you. That one in the middle, he identified as the first appearance of Jubilee. There's nothing else significant in that particular comic. It's, again, beginning of a story arc. Who are these weird guys? They have guns. What's going on, right? There's no specific big bad or other heroes being introduced. That comic is specifically the introduction, the first appearance of Jubilee. I don't think that's an accident. So Jubilee is the character that we're focusing on, who's going to be playing, we believe, a prominent role in 2026. There's some related items as well. So we think back again to the community. That's why I love the community when it's firing all cylinders, when you have that positivity, when people are digging into the meat of things. We have that image here. This is from Rage Gaming. So we're going to shout Rage Gaming out here. And he brought out in this comic, The Death of Wolverine, the character that we don't have in the game yet is Banshee. It's a good theory. Can it be given some credibility? Well, Boylan, a couple weeks ago, I remember him doing some data mines, and he talked about somebody mentioning the name Black Tom. So he thought maybe Black Tom might be coming to the game. I don't know if that's true, but there's only a few people that would mention that name that it would make sense. Banshee makes perfect sense because Banshee and Black Tom are enemies and they're cousins. So those two appear a lot together. I don't know if Black Tom's coming to the game, but it does give context that perhaps it is Banshee that is saying this. And so then Banshee could be a character coming to the game. Another very, very big significant point is the fact that Banshee and Jubilee were on the same team at one point. That team is Generation X. So I think that the Generation X team will be coming to Marvel Strike Force. So when you think of Generation X, it's kind of like a different style, like the New Mutants. So you have the New Mutants, you have Generation X. These were different teams that were being filled to kind of bring up the next generation of X-Men. So who else could be on that team? Well, I'm thinking that since we're going to be, if we're really focusing on Jubilee, she was in a relationship with Chamber. So Chamber, he's a member of Generation X. He could be coming to the team. A favorite pick that I would choose would be M, Monet St. Croix. Very awesome character. I'd like to see her on that team. And then we need another rework. I'm going to go with Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde wasn't originally on that team, but Jubilee and Kitty kind of have an interesting, I don't want to say relationship. Basically, they were kind of seen as that daughter figure by Wolverine. So he kind of mentored Kitty Pryde. She grows up, and then the next person to take that spot would be Jubilee. So they're kind of representative of the same style of character in that sense. So I'm putting them together. So I'm going to say that one of the teams that we're going to be seeing in 2026 is Generation X. That one I'm the most confident in. Let's move on to team number 2. So in that same picture on the left-hand side, there is an image of the Venom symbiote, right? It's one of those Alex Ross variants that everybody has been talking about. So again, we thank the community for mentioning that. We're able to track down and find out that comic book cover. Now, that comic book cover is in the Lethal Protector storyline. It's Lethal Protector 2, not issue 2. It's the second version of the Lethal Protector storyline, right? So you have Toy Story number 1, that's its own thing, and then another movie comes out. It's a sequel, but it's Toy Story number 2. Two different things. So this is the Lethal Protector 2. It's the second version of that story. Again, there wasn't a whole lot of significant things. Same deal. Venom, he's walking around, stumbles on this place. Hey, where you guys have these weird guns? There's fights. Silver Sable's involved. It's not, there's not a whole lot going on there. It's a rare comic run, so it's tough to find all the information. I was only able to find information about a couple of the issues. At the end, there's this cool Doom. There's this cool Dr. Doom wearing the Venom symbiote, so that's cool. Maybe that's an indication of something to come, but I think there's more involved. Since I couldn't find anything significant in that comic book run, and if anybody else knows more, please let me know in the comments below. I'm thinking maybe it's a callback to the original Lethal Protector series. In the original Lethal Protector series, that kind of is the groundwork for the Venom movies, right? So you have Venom, and he kind of has children, so to speak, right? These other symbiotes, and right, that kind of gives rise to loosely to what we saw in the Venom movie. So people might be familiar with those characters. So if we think about Venom, obviously you think about Carnage, Scream. So we're thinking of reworks to those 3 characters. And then we have these symbiote 6. So we would need 3 new symbiotes to work with. The Quicksilver one is the one that the fan vote had. And then I'm trying to figure out who would be the rest. I took some notes here. I think we're going to go with Riot. We'll see how he looks. He looks different in the comics than he did in the movie. So we'll kind of see what look would go there, just because that name would be something that people would be familiar with. And then I picked one more. For a look at my notes here, we picked Agony. And the only reason why we made those picks is because when you have those symbiotes on the screen, right, if they all are black or if they all are red, it's tough to differentiate between who's who. So we just picked ones that were different colors. Not guaranteeing that this is going to happen. We just picked ones that were different colors. So when they're on the screen, people will know which is which. The third item is not a comic book, right? We had a really difficult time finding out what that was. The third item is not a comic book. It is a poster. The 75th anniversary, again, people are going on Alex Ross. And this is a poster or a book cover in which he displayed the artwork for the rest of the variant covers that he had made in that season. So it's basically a cover of the original old school Avengers. So this could have 2 different meanings. One, it could be a rework to the Wave 1 Avengers in general, somehow boosting them up, giving them some power. That might also be happening. It could have, again, a dual meaning. Or the one character that we don't have in the game in any way, shape, or form down there in the lower right-hand corner is Wonder Man. So Wonder Man could be coming to Marvel Strike Force in 2026. And I think if that happens, then that would signify a West Coast Avengers version. I think Marvel is building towards a West Coast Avengers team of some sort. So I don't know who would be on that team, to be completely honest. There's a lot of individuals. Hawkeye is a big standout, right? A lot of people have noticed he's the only Wave 1 Avenger that hasn't gotten a rework. So Hawkeye could be on that team. And then outside of that, outside of Hawkeye, and then this reference here to Iron Man, if we're going with the West Coast, I'm not sure who would be on that team. There's other characters. There's other ways that we could spin this. That's the last piece of the puzzle that I still haven't figured out yet, but perhaps you have some ideas, and I'm looking forward to hearing about them and reading them in the comments below. So I think our guys wasn't joking. There's a lot of things still to even find in those pictures. So if you're a nerd, go ahead and dig deep, and maybe we can find out more about the teams that are happening in the game very, very soon. If you haven't seen this video right here, though, please check it out. It's legit.